Listen, we'll get to it eventually.
Broken Mondays. But yeah.
Man, it's OBS. I blame OBS, bro. I
spent-
don't trust OBS for nothing in this world, bro.
OBS. KG, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. The resub. 7 months strong. Let's go. We've been doing this for a while, man. 7 months strong. KG been in it.
Yeah, man, we've been out here. We've been out here.
We've been out here for longer than we think we've been out here, which is crazy.
Which is pretty crazy. Now we gifted to 2 subs. It's getting nutty.
Because somebody wanted to point out, it's just the pre-podcast shenanigans. You know how we do.
This is the Manic
It's clearly rubbing off on the people that listen because now they're doing pre-manic podcast behavior. But we love it. So that's all we're saying.
Oh, man.
One of the chat members decided to point out that they're at an odd number at a specific value, which caused them to, you know what, man? Never mind.
Oh my God.
And then this happened.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yo, what? Hold on.
For those that are listening post-production, just know that we received this absolutely obscene amount of love at random intervals that we just can't contain our emotions at that time.
Yeah, so it's good that it's happening before we start the show so we can actually acknowledge it.
Yo, KJ, you are an animal. And you know what's crazy? KJ's the dog, right? He's a dude. He's one of our founding fathers. I be riding with KJ. Me and him always chilling.
Founding fathers. I love it.
I'm telling you, I told him that we were going to get, when we get an office, we're going to get a plaque with his name, the founding father, in the office somewhere hung up. I'm like, yo, KJ, you're crazy, bro. So we're chilling in the stream. And then I forget what he did. He did something. But then he was like,
he did a KJ, basically. That's what he did.
Yeah, he did something KJ like, and then he was like a foreshadow for later, and I'm like, what is he talking about? A foreshadow for, and this
foreshadow for later.
And now he just went crazy. KJ, you madman. Dude is a madman.
He gave you the lore. He was giving you the lore. You wasn't trying to read.
He's showing up.
Yo, wild, so wild. I cannot. Yo, KJ, the love, bro, too much. I love
literally founding father.
Like Reese always said, it ain't enough.
The dog.
Listen, KJ, I'm gonna stop saying that because he clearly is calling my bluff. So you know what? You won.
No, it's too much. It's not enough. It's too much. KJ, you do too much for us, man. You're the greatest. You're seriously the greatest. The freaking Don.
The GOAT.
I don't back down, but man, listen, call my bluff.
What's your day, Reese? Boom.
Me? Took a couple days off last week, spoiled myself, get a little rest because, it's crazy outside and the crazy found its way inside. So, we had to rest up a little bit. And then I worked on Friday, had the weekend. Now I'm back to regular, it's just work.
just work.
And now we here doing our thing.
Yo, Reese. Reese.
I see y'all.
Reese, that's crazy.
Now I'm here with you two fine folk making fun of me and whatever.
Ooh, you call me fine. I take it, appreciate.
Right.
Don't make me take it back.
Am I a Moscato? Like, you know what I mean? Fine wine out here.
Fine wine. But, what do we got for our people today, Key? Yo, hit us up with let us in.
Let us in. Let me open the door.
Entry.
You want the guest list, bro? I don't know. Let me check.
Man, we better be the only 3 names on that list. That's all.
Yeah. Also, KJ.
You're right.
Right.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Trigger Talk TV, where we talk all things video games and video games related. I am Key, and I'm here with my 2 wonderful co-hosts, B.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
And Reese.
Y'all on the list?
Y'all on the list. Are y'all on the list?
Y'all on the list.
They are on the they're on the guest list, man. They got they don't get the MVP room, you know what I'm saying? The VIP. They can't sit in the VIP, but they're the guests.
In the VIP.
The guest of honor.
Okay.
Now I can appropriately ask the question. What we got for our people today? Because it's still kind of a slow start to the year as far as news is concerned. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know about y'all.
As far as you're concerned.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been some stuff though.
Slow start to the new. I mean, low key though. I don't think it's really been a slow start. Like, I mean, remember what was it last week or the week before? You brought up how Who was it? It was
Valve?
Ubisoft. Huh?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. It was Ubisoft, right? They got in trouble.
Well, it's Valve is the main.
Valve is the main culprit, but Ubisoft is
Also,
Yeah, they got in trouble with their with the Steam, huh?
Yeah, Devolver and all those. Yeah,
with the Steam controller. That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to bring up.
That's Valve themselves.
That's Valve as well.
Yeah, so they got into the lawsuit about an episode or two ago, and now we found out they got to pay out $4.5 million because of that. Yeah, that whole controller design thing. So
Scuff was like, "Yo, we came up with that first. Run your pockets." So.
And then we also have Valve is also in locked horns with this other lawsuit with these other folks about
with the price fixing.
With them doing the price fixing, it's one of those things that's like it's shady, but you can't stop it. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like.
So, okay, the year has
been.
Yeah, there's been some news. There's been some stuff happening.
I will say the first week was kind of tough because it was still kind of like
it was still
just more cyberpunk and a recap of what happened at the end of the year. But I feel like we're in full swing, bro. Like this, like we had a lot of topics to go through for this week to land on these three.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing: I am so happy and so ecstatic that we are finally over the cyberpunk saga because it was just all cyberpunk for so long.
It was in the way.
It was really in the way of like other news. It was like what is it called when it's a distraction? It was like there could have been other dope stuff happen in the video game world, but it was just covered by all cyberpunk news.
Bam.
Dude. It was so annoying.
I mean, it was unprecedented to have a release go that poorly.
Yeah,
so
that's
I get
fair.
it, but it definitely was tough. It got tiring. It got old really fast.
We're being asked not to jinx it because just as easily as they botched the release, they could botch anything else down the line. So you know what?
I mean,
we'll stop.
Well, CD Projekt is a part of that lawsuit with Valve.
They are part of that lawsuit too. So you know they just can't escape nothing.
They ain't just having a rough go of it right now. No, I can go first. That's fine. Let's go. Let's dive into this.
All right, let's do it then.
All right, so let me take it back to 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that 79 trip.
That's a song. You know that, right?
I do know that.
I don't know. So you gotta ask, Greeks, bro. You gotta ask. See, you gotta ask. Pop culture and things. You gotta ask. So for those of you who don't know, back in 2009, college basketball royalty from UCLA, Ed Bannon, he decided to take a lawsuit against the NCAA and the Collegiate Licensing Company, the CLC, for his likeness. So all of these NCAA games, years, right? What they would do is they would never put the players' names in the games, but they, of course, would have their skin tone, their height, their weight, their hair, their jersey numbers,
their likeness, essentially,
their complete likeness, what hand they used to shoot, all that stuff.
Okay, so really quick before you continue, so they have their likeness, but not their name. So were they always referred to their number?
But I'm thinking because he just said he didn't specifically say their likeness. He mentioned features that they had, so it was like a legal way to be like them without being them.
Because they could probably omit like one thing, and it's like, oh yeah, it's not this person.
There's a name like for it, but I could never forget. I can never remember the name of it.
It's how they was getting through. You know what I mean? It's how they were getting through for years. And I am with the college athlete. Here I stand in their corner. I'm 100% with them, and them being paid for their likeness. You know? And of course, you know, when you sign to go to a school for a scholarship, you then give that up. You can't be paid for your likeness. You can't. You cannot be paid money while you're playing a college sport. So like you can't sign autographs and be paid for those autographs. You will get in trouble. They can revert, like they can take away your scholarship, all those things. Yet they can make $1 billion off you with these video games.
I hate it so much.
And with all the live television, all the games being aired on TV, so they can just make all this money off. So it took Ed O'Bannon and a bunch of other big names, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, to get involved in this lawsuit and to fight to get student athletes paid for their likeness. So the last NCAA basketball game to come out was 2009. So that was the last one. During the lawsuit, EA Sports and the CLC, they backed out. They were like, you know what? You got it. Here's $40 million. We're going to settle. And all students from, I think, going as far back as 2003 were entitled to up to $4,000. Fine. That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what all these companies made. Right. So they stepped out. And of course, the NCAA, being the giant that they are, and they don't really care, they kept fighting. It wasn't until June 27th, 2014, that the judge finally ruled that the NCAA long-held practice of barring payments to athletes, it violated antitrust laws, and they could no longer make these games without paying the student. So what did they do?
They didn't make games.
They stopped making the games.
Yo, they're shit.
Why don't you just pay the kids, bro? What is that?
Because
NCAA football stopped in 2014, so 2013 was the last one, right? Because they always do the
there was a year after. Yep.
And the last basketball game was 2009, 2010. That was it. There hasn't been one since. And there's been even more legislation. There's been more fighting with these with the NCAA. And so now the most recent thing that happened with the NCAA is, I believe it was last year or the year before, but I want to say last year, is they had a significant shift. You know, they were fighting. All these athletes got involved. LeBron, everyone got involved. And the NCAA, their board of governors, they announced that they will support allowing student athletes to receive compensation for third-party endorsements, both related to and separate from athletics. So meaning that they could get an endorsement deal from Subway if they choose to, you know, they can actually legally be paid for that. So that's for the last 1,000 years, they had to hide and sneak, and it was completely illegal. Like you couldn't sign something and sell it. Your own name, you couldn't sign it and sell it. You couldn't sign your own jersey off your back and sell it to a kid. You couldn't do that. You would be barred, you'd get in trouble, all these things. So now, with all that being said, right, all the progress made, now EA has announced EA Sports is coming back. The college sports is coming back, right? So EA college football is making a triumphant return. But here's the catch. Here's where they broke my heart.
Why is there a catch?
Always something.
Here's where they broke my heart.
Always something. I was expecting this.
They are not using player likeness, so they can avoid paying the players.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Ask your question, because I'm heated right now.
I'm really just curious, because I'm very, very, very much far away from this realm, so I don't know much of anything, if anything at all. And I'm curious, why do the companies not want to pay them? Is there some kind of clause, reason, some type of blowback, some type of anything that, because when they said stop paying, or you have to pay them, they just stopped making games. And it's not like, nah, bro. Right. So, but like you pay athletes to make NBA 2K or whatever the case may be. So what is it about college students?
They don't want to pay. They just don't want to. The NCAA has it out. They have it ingrained in their life and everything that they've done to never give those dollars to those student athletes. They just, we give you a scholarship, so that's enough. And they've been standing by that and swearing by that for 100 years.
It has to be something like to do with college. It has to be.
But wait,
so with like, okay, go ahead.
I'm just trying to say that I don't think it has anything to do with the college, because it's got to do with the game developers, because they said you have to pay the kids, right? And then instead of paying the kids, they didn't make any more games. And then fast forward to now, they're coming out with the game again, and it's on them, right?
Right. So what happened is the NCAA, they really are not for paying student athletes. They're just not about it. And so what happened is EA, which is of course the video game company, and the collegiate licensing company, the CLC, they're the ones that originally backed out. And they're like, yo, we're just going to settle for $40 million and we're just going to leave this thing alone. And the NCAA kept fighting. We're not going to back down. We're not going to back down. We're not going to back down until 2014 when they finally lost in court. And then they had to give up $40 million, which is still a drop in the bucket. It's not enough, but that's neither here nor there. So fast forward to now, EA is teaming up with the CLC. So meaning they're going to have the colleges will be in the game, because the CLC, they allow the licensing for the schools themselves. So Duke and UCLA and Clemson, all of their logos and stuff will be in their stadiums, will be in the game, their jerseys, all that stuff. But they're circumventing the NCAA, because the NCAA now is like, yo, you can pay them now. So now the CLC and EA is like, nah, bro.
So NCAA says you can pay the students now.
So that happened just last year.
Right. So that's what I was.
We put pressure on them, and they finally caved. And
so
now, go ahead.
But that's what I was saying. Like, it's got to be on the developers themselves. How come they are not paying the kids? Because it's not. The NCAA said, yo, you can give the kids money.
They're circumventing the NCAA, because the NCAA has the money. They got the bread. Yeah. Right. So they're completely going. They're not even using the NCAA. So meaning all of the players' likeness is not going to be in the game, because they're not doing the NCAA at all. So therefore, they don't have to pay them.
So to get back at the NCAA, they are in turn hurting the kids that they are making video games about.
Bro, it is a mess.
It ain't even about them anymore, because they're not even
they're literally
associated anymore.
No, but I mean,
yep.
But
you go ahead.
So wait,
it's crazy.
Because I'm just trying to be able to wrap my head around this, because again, I'm very far away from this, so I don't know anything. So that's why I'm asking questions. So to get around having to give the NCAA money, they're not using anything to do with the NCAA at all, basically, right?
Right. So the NCAA, they regulate all the players and all the contracts and all that stuff. They're the ones that say you can pay these athletes now. They're the ones that said that. So to avoid paying the athletes, the gaming company and the CLC, they're teaming up to make a game without the NCAA. So this is called EA College Football. It's not. So years prior, it was NCAA 14, NCAA whatever.
Yeah.
They quickly just said, nah, to avoid paying the students still, we just don't name it NCAA anything. So and don't use the player likeness at all.
So right, okay, no, okay. So I think I have my head wrapped around this, and I think that makes EA trash and not NCAA trash.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The trash has flipped from NCAA to EA essentially.
Yeah. And the CLC. So that's the collegiate legislature. This is the group that allows the colleges.
Yeah, that's the college body.
Right.
And the NCAA is the student body.
Exactly.
All right, let's say that then. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. No, what I was saying earlier, no, it's not on the colleges though. Now that you explained about the
that's
NCAA
right. Because I was getting yelled at
now,
saying it was NCAA.
No,
it's still on the colleges a little bit, because
because of the CLC. You said,
School's still going to get their paper.
Yeah.
They're still getting their
but
paper.
now I'm assuming it's on like EA. Yeah, it's on those two because there are so many in comparison to like the NBA where there's a subset 32 teams or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's
in the NBA there's 30 teams. Yeah,
hundreds of colleges, right?
Yes,
several. So imagine all those teams you got to pay. They were like, no, we don't have enough finance for that, quote unquote.
Which is cap.
Which is
they do
utter BS. Yeah,
college sports makes so much money. It is insane. It's unfathomable how much money they pull in.
Would you say it's comparable to NFL, to NBA?
Bro,
I'm in the opinion that EA is for sure trash because like forget what happened in the past. What's going on right now? NCAA says, "Yo, you can pay these dudes," and they're saying, "Nah, we're just gonna make characters that kind of look like them." Like I think
so they're about to
that's basically the same.
That's trash.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's essentially the same thing as Fortnite having dances in their game from real people in the world, but not paying the actual people that created the game to model for the game, the movements within the game.
Basically,
that's basically the same thing.
This might be worse.
So, I'm just making it. You know what I'm saying? Something that people can wrap their mind around because it was really difficult.
Was kind of slick with it. And now EA and CLC is being blatant with it.
Yeah, it was a little difficult for me at first.
Thing is just the laws say that you can't copyright
like movements.
You can't. So like they just take an L on that, and it's unfortunate and it sucks, and we got to rally to change the laws.
Yeah,
fine, fair. This is we rallied to change the laws, right? We like the people came together, they fought, they went to court years, they galvanized, they got NBA players involved, got the laws changed, and then what do? They just say, all right, fine. Well, as long as we don't use the NCAA student body stuff, we don't have to pay them. So fine, we just won't pay them. And that's still on the school because the CLC is the ones who are signing off on it. So the school's still gonna get they're still going to get paid.
But wait, is the CLC saying that they can't get paid? The kids can't get paid?
The CLC is responsible for this paying the students.
Right. So I'm just trying to find a connection. Like, why is it still on the CLC? That's why I was confused.
Well, it's crazy to me that they would say, well, yeah, let's do the game, but let's omit the students.
Oh, okay. So, they're just in agreement with EA.
Because Oregon's going to be in the game. All these big name schools are going to be in the game. Their mascots, their jerseys, everything. All that stuff. Like that stuff is huge money. Like people go crazy for their alma maters. It's insane. And the fact that EA is going to get their paper because they're making the game and they're going to sell it, and it's going to sell like crazy. It's going to sell like crazy. These college games go crazy.
Oh, yeah. Which is this? This is basketball or football is coming up?
So the football is coming back. Now
that one's going to make stupid money.
Yeah. So the EA is saying 2021. So this year it should be back. Maybe 2022. But I saw it on ESPN a couple days ago on the Scott Van Pelt show after one of the big basketball games, and he was so hyped. And the community was hyped. You can see all the tweets coming in. People were so excited. And when you peel back the skin and you get into this onion, man, it's stinky.
It's still trash.
It is just unfortunate. It's a huge, huge blow. It's just a huge opportunity missed to do the right thing. You had 6 to 7 years to think about it and do the right thing. And still, they chose to omit the student athletes who make it popular. Make it hot.
Would you consider this a step backwards? Because there were, let's call it quasi likenesses back in the day, because that's how they got around not paying the students. And now we're good to have these like faux people. Like they have to generate these people now with AI. And who knows how much that's going to cost? It might end up being more than what. But
no, bro.
There are these fictional beings that you can't really
Reese, this is the same thing you did before. It's not going to cost more to create fake.
I didn't say it was going to cost.
Yes, you did.
You're still incurring a cost.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's going to incur in costs because they're going to have to make all these. But bro, they can just randomly generate whatever they want and just stick a jersey number on it and call it a day. And
now, this is what I'm asking. Do you think it regressed because now you have these fake people that there isn't no attack? Like with their quasi likenesses, you can still kind of attach them. Like, oh yeah, that's this. Yeah, you're not saying the name, but I know them.
That will now. But the thing about college sports is that people go crazy for their school. People go nutty for their schools, and I can't confirm this yet because there's not a ton of information on the game itself. They're just saying it's coming and we're working on it and it's going down and it's coming back. But they're not going to make the school so let's say you have Duke. They're not going to be a bad basketball team. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have their overall is going to make sense.
Yeah.
Are going to make sense. You know what I mean? So it's just a step backward. I would say this is more like a spit in the face to all the fighting that's gone. That's all the fighting that's gone on. Like all the students who go crazy and they're trying to make it and they can't catch a break. They can't get paid for all the work that they do.
Yeah, that's
all the hard work. Like yo, some of them can't afford to do their laundry, but because they have a scholarship, it's enough. It's like, bro, like, nah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that.
You know that happened to me because
what an ACL. That's it.
When I was going to community college, dude. When I was going to community college, I applied for financial aid, FAFSA, and they didn't give it to me, saying that essentially, look, I make too much money. Mind you, I was making $10 an hour and living on my own. Like I had my own apartment. Like what? Like we're not talking about my rent. We're not talking about my utilities. We're not talking about how I have to eat. Like you're just going this based on what the average person makes. You're not even thinking about how I'm living, how I'm trying to live. Like,
bro, and even better than that, what is the average person? Like what I would consider your situation, the average person.
The poor margin for like how I guess what you would call the U.S. or the government or whatever. I don't know. Whoever the big dogs are.
The poverty line.
Yeah. What they see the poverty line is ridiculous. It's just like. Yeah.
Like so you take the average like college athlete who gets a scholarship, right? It's like they can't work. Because if they work, they might make too much and not qualify for a scholarship. So then they're like, well, gee, I can't. How do I win? And it's like, all right, I want to play because I'm trying to make it to the league or I'm trying to make it to play overseas or the G League, whatever, wherever they're trying to go. Or even if they're just trying to get an education. It's all right, cool. But now I can't afford a bagel. I can't afford to do my laundry. I can't afford to do any of this stuff. Like it is insane. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, all right, I'm the man on campus. Like I'm on the starting five. All right, cool. Let me sell something. Let me sign my sneakers and sell them. Run your scholarship. You can't
do that. You can't do that.
Crazy.
You can't make money off of your skill, off your popularity. No, absolutely not.
No. Money because you work hard? No.
Like you're out there promoting us, but we're not paying.
Wait, so you grinded every day and you worked hard to get to the position you are at and you're trying to make money off of it? Absolutely not. That's not acceptable.
What are you thinking? This isn't what you signed up for. Go out there and throw that ball around.
It's unfortunate and it breaks my heart because when I saw it on ESPN the other night, I got so excited for the students. That was literally the first thought that jumped into my head was like, it's coming back. The new laws passed. It's going to be dope. And this is what they decided to do. It's like the first line, and they're not using player likeness, meaning like it's not even called NCAA anything. They're completely omitting having to pay the students again. They found a way around it again, and I'm sure the NCAA is just laughing behind the scenes, man. Crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Y'all thought it was over.
I will not be buying this game. I am. At first, I was hyped. I was okay. I'm about to get it cracking with Trevor Lawrence. I was getting hyped, and that's not the case. That is not the case. I will not be supporting anything to do with EA College Football 21. I'm not.
And I will continue to not buy or support anything. I was ahead of the curve.
Ahead of the curve. Yep. So it breaks my heart because you guys know I'm a huge FIFA fan. I play Madden. I love sports. I love sports, and EA definitely has the sports chops. So hopefully, Take-Two with their purchase of Codemasters and all this stuff that they get back into the football scene and they take over because man, oh man, bad.
That's
That
that's
is highly unfortunate.
Well,
broke my heart.
To flip it over on the other side of things, something that is also insane and something that I am absolutely excited for and that I absolutely want to buy and that absolutely caught me off guard because I've never heard of this title is Biomutant. Oh my God. This game is stupid. And I mean stupid in the greatest possible compliment possible. Wait, I said possible. It's insane. This game, let me tell you about this game. Let me get into some deets really quick because oh my goodness, I've never heard of Biomutants. And so apparently it's going to be published by THQ Nordic and developed by Experiment 101, who was actually acquired by THQ Norton back in 2017. So Experiment 101 was founded in 2015 by people that were part of the Just Cause series. They wanted to go back and they said they wanted to go back to basics, but let me tell you, this game is anything but basic. This game is insane. Oh my goodness. So it is a third person open world ARPG where you play as some kind of animal warrior thing in a world filled with mutated animals. Like you look kind of like cute but aggressive fur things. Like think of what's the name?
Anthropomorphic. That's the term you're looking for.
What is it?
Anthropomorphic. It's an animal with like human, like Sonic.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. So basically, like the little raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, like that's what you look like.
Okay, yep,
yeah. And they're all like ninjas or something. It looks so dope. it looks really really good. I mean graphically, like it looks pretty good graphically as well. And I noticed that I watched like it was like a 10-minute. They called it a trailer, but this was anything but. This is not a trailer because typically a trailer is like CG scenes,
just cinematics.
Yes, it's your cinematics. This is a 10-minute gameplay video. That's basically what I watched. Excuse me. Okay. It only didn't show the HUD, so I don't really know if there is a HUD. It could be like the Getaway, for all that I know.
Yeah, I'm looking on their site right now. All their screen caps, no HUD. It's just
there's no HUD as far as I know. I didn't see any HUD. And fun fact: this game is actually Experiment 101's first and only ever game, and it's a team of 18 people. And so that's an indie, right? This is an indie.
I mean, you consider it an indie.
They were acquired by THQ Nordic, so I guess. Yeah. I don't know if it's still considered an indie or not, but
yeah, I would.
Call of the Sea got acquired by a big publisher called Raw Fury, but the dev team is out of blue. It's just a 2-member team.
Yeah. So what for Call of the Sea?
Yeah. So it's like one of those things. It's like they might have a giant publisher, but the dev team is still indie. It's like like it reminds me of like the PS1 era. It's just like there's these games that are coming out that you just like, this looks like a giant blockbuster and it's like some small studio.
Oh right, this is giving me like the same hype and vibe that I got from Wukong when we saw scenes from that. I got the same type of, because I was skeptical at first, but I was like, it's a new game. I feel like let me discover some new game I haven't heard of, and boy am I glad I did that. So At the beginning of the game, you customize your character and their characteristics, such as their sex, body shape, fur, fangs, etc. And each of these characteristics that you customize, they'll have a direct impact on your character itself. Like if you make a bigger, bulkier character, you're going to be slow, but you're going to be able to take and deal more damage. You can obviously, if you're smaller, you're going to be able to move faster and things like that. And then you can customize your character further throughout playing the game by mutations or biomechanic additions, body parts like robotic legs, wings, claws, and mind you,
cybernetics.
Everything you want in Cyberpunk.
This is like this game is it's like I don't even. It's like. It's an open. It reminded me of. Let me just continue on because then I can tell you exactly.
Yeah, I was going
to as we go on.
I was about to ask, do they have nanomachines?
Potentially. Potentially, there's potentially nanomachines in this game.
Okay,
nanomachines.
Nanomachines.
So the world in this game so far of what I've seen, I don't know if it's what I would call massive because I haven't seen the entire world map or anything, but it looked very large. And you are a small animal. I'm assuming something like squirrel size. I want to say you're a relatively small animal, especially in comparison to some of the giant creatures that you fight. Like I would say that you're a squirrel versus a baby bear. Like you fight some giant animals, and. Jeez. Like you fight some really, really giant animals, and the combat system is really cool. You can hook off on people. There's hand-to-hand combat. There's stabs. There's swords. There's guns, and you can like almost seamlessly interchange in between each of them. You can go from your sword to your guns. You get a grappling hook, so you can grapple on and zip and climb around. And do you remember this? It
reminds me of like Breath of the Wild.
Yes. So, I've never played Breath of the Wild, but it is very open world, and it's very. It's fun looking. I mean, there's even like comic book pop outs. Like it'll say "pow" or "boing" when you bounce on a mushroom or something like that. Like there's like, so it's very like. It's very
usually
fun.
Go for stuff like that, but this is looking hot.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. it's minimal though, so it doesn't look. It's not anything too crazy.
It's on a 5.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
We're not.
It's not crazy. I just meant because that's over
that
top.
game during my segment.
No, that's not over. It's not over the top.
Please, let's not talk about that game. Huh?
Just go on. It has Persona 5 references. Go on.
It does not. It has comic book references. Okay, comic book references. Yeah. So, anyways, let me just continue on. The map is rather large, and certain areas in the map require you to have or use certain vehicles or body parts. Like in order to get to a certain place, you might need wings or some type of floating anything to get up to the next area to be able to just reach that area in general. There's like low oxygen areas where you need to have some kind of mask so you can breathe just to be there. And speaking of like flying and wings, there's also a ton of different types of vehicles in this game. I noticed that I saw the characters riding on weird blue horse things. All the animals are like mutated, so like they're what we think they are, but different. So it's like a horse, but it looks like I don't even know what it is. I saw them. Huh?
What, a chariot or something?
No, it's a horse, but it's a creature. It looks different. Like, it's mutated.
This is Armored Core, bro. Like you can take like chicken feet with a with a horse.
Speaking of with like a horse body and like.
Honestly, I'm glad you said Armored Core. There was a part in it where the guy was walking and he was in a Gundam, but he was only in a Gundam for like 10 seconds, and then the Gundam got like ravaged by a bunch of different little animals. So I don't know if that was a CG scene or if he was actually in a Gundam and it just got overwhelmed by all the enemies that was around him. I do not know. So I honestly, I wasn't going to bring the Gundam thing up, but it just fell right into place.
The mech part? No, I saw the mech part. You know I was going to bring up the mech part.
Like, he brought up Armored Core, so I just felt like, well, I mean, we here. He gave me the alley-oop, so...
There's a mech.
Yeah, I mean, I also saw he was riding... One of the characters was riding... It was a hand, but he was riding the hand, and each of the fingers was like had guns in them, so you can lift up a finger and start shooting at your enemies. Like, it's so wild. You can get a submarine, and you can go underwater and travel underwater, but there's giant beasts underwater that you also got to watch out for, because you run into some beasts. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's insane, and it's looking so fire that I was very shocked and taken aback. There's a dynamic weather system and night and day system, or night and day cycle, that affects the gameplay as well as enemy behavior. And this is a feature that I think is really cool, and it takes it back to Fallout and Elder Scrolls types games. More so Fallout though. This game features a karma system and a companion system.
Oh, I love it.
And depending on the choices,
so far, this game could do no wrong. It seemed like
that's what I'm saying. Goodness. This game's doing no wrong right now, and I'm watching the gameplay, by the way.
I know. I was about to say Reese is getting enlightened right now, but I've been like seeing this game here, and I'm like, yo,
depending.
I was gonna cover this, and I was, you know what? Let me get this away. Let one of them touch it.
Yeah, no, this game looks absolutely insane. Depending on the choices the player makes in the game, the companion can change their mind about rolling out with you, because you're doing.
That reminds me of Wastelander. Like so like it's like that in Wasteland. Like I was talking to Imran about it. Like he loves the game. He swears by it. So I was watching him play, and he teamed up with somebody, or he helped somebody that somebody in his party didn't like, and the dude in his party was like, I can't believe you would do that. And they started a battle with his own teammate. I was like, what?
See, okay, that is super dope. This made me, I never played Wastelander, but this made me immediately think back to Fallout New Vegas, where in one of the first time,
I'm sorry, I was gonna say Jericho.
I don't remember his name. You might.
Oh, he's 3. He is 3.
Oh, okay, so Far Cry or Fallout New Vegas, and one of the first areas you go to, you get a sniper, and he works with I forget the name of the police. He was an army dude.
Brotherhood type cat.
Not Brotherhood, but one of those army dudes, like a regular army dude. So he's like on the good side with the MPs and all them. So once you start doing a lot of bad, he's like, yo, I can't roll with you no more, and he straight up leaves the party.
He'll dip.
Yeah, he's like, yo, you doing like I can't. This isn't my type of party.
Yeah,
so
he
dips. So immediately brought me back to that. But then it goes even further in this game, where if they decide to leave your party, it can affect the story, because dialogues and quest lines can change in the future, like depending on what happens with you and whatever companion you change. It's crazy.
See, that's sick. See, Fallout didn't do that. Like,
no.
If you lost your companion, whatever, I'm on my quest.
Right.
And his name is Craig, by the way. Craig Boone.
Yeah, Boone. He goes by Boone. He doesn't go by Craig.
Boone.
It's Boone. Yes.
But the fact that your companion alter the primary storyline?
The companion can alter the storyline. Yeah, it's insane.
It's just checking boxes after, but like.
Wait a minute. Can you pre-order this?
Like the way it looks, right? The aesthetic. First off, like it reminds me of like Breath of the Wild, but with like cute creatures that are also not cute. You know what I mean? Like I like that type of stuff.
They're little cute, rugged beast animals that are cute.
like you think Rocket Raccoon, like that's the first thing you think about. Right. Is like Rocket Raccoon, Star Fox, Falco, like those type of characters is like they're cute and cuddly, but also they'll tell you a new one. Like, you know what I mean? Like
absolutely. This game, it just looks like it's gonna be a great game. It's very open world, and it looks like it's something that if you are into the open world RPG, the Elder Scrolls, the Far Cry, if you're into hype battle systems, because mind you, the game you have combat rolls. You can dodge backwards, side to side. You can also jump. So if you're into those type of games, you're gonna absolutely love this game. I believe. From what it looks like, from what I saw, and from like the research that I did, it's looking like this is going to be a must cop from me. And I didn't at first. I was skeptical because it was cute little animals, and I'm like, yo, I don't do cute or whatever this is, or whatever this got going on. And one of the first things you see when you watch the 10-minute trailer video is he just opening up, comboing out on some giant monster, and he swings out his grappling hook. He starts off with combos, boop, 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 hitting him up, and then he swings with his grappling hook, and then he busts out some like Uzis or something like that. And I'm like, what is this game right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. This went from 0 to 100 really quick.
Yeah, I got way too hyped. Like stuff like this gets me way too hyped.
Yeah, I was watching that gameplay, and as you was talking about the hand, and you just like boop boop.
It's a little hand. It's like the hand from Super Smash Brothers, but like gold.
Crazy hand, but he got bullets in his fingers.
There's bullets in his fingers. Crazy. Yeah. So you just walk, and that's something that you can literally drive or ride in the game. So you just that's an automobile. You can go from A to B, and if somebody tries to ride out on you, stick up some fingers and you shoot at them. It's.
And then I saw the actual like weapon customization, and then like you add different items, and you get a ranking up top, like how many stars.
So as far as that goes, I didn't find too many details on it, but from the video, you can see that the weapons have it's rare, ultra rare. So it's kind of giving me looter vibes, and I don't really know because the way it looked like one gun could have 3 different rarities. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a looter where you just get like, oh, this gun is the ultra rare shoot 'em up web gun or something like that, whatever. Or you can just find the same gun in different rarities. Or if this is this a looter, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that a lot of your combos and moves you're able to use come from the weapons themselves. And this game has an intricate, it's mentioned to have an intricate weapons crafting system, so you can create your own weapons, and the weapon that you uses influences your moves, which there's a lot of customization. You can customize yourself as a character, and then you can customize the abilities that you have with whatever weapon that you choose to craft yourself.
Right.
It's very.
So you can be a big tanky dude, but also you can have like a super fast weapon if you choose to. Like,
right.
That's match and do all types of.
That's mass builder almost, because you customize yourself, you customize your mech, and then you customize your weapons, which determines what kind of moveset you have. Like if you have
your weapons will determine your moveset.
Yeah. So I like that.
This thing, I hope it's not a looter, right? Because this thing looks so good.
Yeah, so it didn't mention anything about looting. It really it mentioned the crafting system. So in the way that they showed the weapons in the video, they showed 3 different tiers of rarity. I believe it was like common, rare, and ultra rare, I believe it was. So I'm thinking you can craft a weapon, and depending on how well you did, you probably craft the rare version, or you crafted the common version, or you crafted the ultra rare version, so you get different specs. It could be that way, but I'm not saying that as something that's confirmed. It's just my assumption. So it could either be a looter, or B, you craft a certain rarity of that very weapon. And I'm hoping it's the latter, because I don't want it to be a looter.
Right. I don't want to be looking for gear so I can find gear so that I can get more gear so I can go get gear. I don't want to do that. Like, it looked like to me, like, so when I first saw it, it reminded me of like Breath of the Wild meets Fallout. Like, just to kind of just bare bones of like what it reminded me of. It reminded me of like a Zelda, yet deeper, like a Fallout type game, and it just looks like my kind of game. It just looks fun.
To me,
the open world, the fast-paced combat would kind of remind you of like a little bit of Zelda, but like a little bit like he was saying, like a Dark Souls, Demon Souls kind of style, because like you're fighting these giant creatures.
Oh, they're giant,
dude, and you're trying to block and parry and jump and side dodge. It just
I said a squirrel to a bit, but you're probably like a mouse to a baby bear. Like they're giant. You're fighting some giant beasts, and you got to dodge, roll, move, duck, dive, grappling hook, fly away. I saw a dude. This is cheating. So, like I said, there's a lot of different.
I said, here we go.
There's a lot of different vehicles that you can use in this game, and I saw one dude on a jetpack floating around with a machine gun over the enemies. He was just for that, just floating around, just on top of them, floating with his machine. Now, mind you, after a time, like he knew, I guess there has to be some kind of HUD because he knew like when the jetpack was gonna run out. So he was shooting, and then he was like, let me back, and he like backed off as he landed on the ground. So I really think you're gonna know. Or there's going to be either a HUD or some kind of hints on what's going on with your weapons or your jetpack, whatever.
Or maybe you just know the jetpack that well.
Yeah, maybe he knew the jetpack. I don't really know. There's no HUD in any picture, any image, any video, anything.
Because in like Splunky, you have the jetpack. There's no HUD indication about how much fuel you have left. You have to listen.
To know by hearing,
And so
that would be
something similar to that.
Absolutely insane if there was no HUD and
that would be wild.
And the roll.
I would like that.
You don't know how much ammo you have. You don't know anything.
You guys know I like stuff like that.
We need that.
That would
be crazy.
That would be. I want to say groundbreaking, but the Getaway did it already. So it would just be. It would take anybody that hasn't played the Getaway or heard of the Getaway. It would catch all of those dudes off guard. Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Breakpoint does that too. Basically,
in other games, you have to turn on.
Those are options, right? I mean, stop. Like you mean put the disc native?
You turn the game on.
Okay. Turn the game on, and there's nothing.
Yeah, like when you on the Getaway, you just go. You start the story.
Yeah, you just go. Yep.
CGI, and then you go, and you literally.
That was like one of my most favorite things about the game that a lot of other people hated. You're like, but I can't see anything. Well, you go out, what do you mean?
Those little things that are like, this is a video game. You know what I mean? It's like, play through this movie.
You're in that world.
You know, like trying to play Metal Gear with no HUD is super difficult. Like you don't even know like what you're gonna equip next. You know what I mean?
That would be insane.
Right. So like to play the Getaway and things of that is super fun. If this game HUD, that would be crazy.
Yeah. I would say the only other games that would do good with no HUD is Uncharted.
I can see Uncharted without a HUD. Absolutely, that's a movie.
But you don't really you don't need it. Like
you don't need it really.
So much stuff. You're just diving around, jumping around, picking stuff up.
You switch to your weapons, but they can just tell you your weapons are on your directional pad, and then that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Like you know what's on your back because it's on your back.
Yeah, right. Yep. Most of the guns they're visible. They're all visible.
Yep.
Like that's a strap game that you could.
And you got your big. And you got your nades. That's it.
You just rock.
You just go.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I am so stoked that you like this game.
This game.
You're too excited. You're too excited.
It's looking stupid. Oh my goodness. I just
knew I was gonna love it, and I was like, I don't know if Key's gonna like it because of the characters.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. There's one minor downfall, and that's
we want to get those.
Let's go. What is it?
It's a single player offline game. And it looks like it needs to be multiplayer. Like you need to be able to ride out with your little rodent. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like a Far Cry.
They said
rodent.
I saw something in Far Cry.
So let me
just love throwing out stuff. People love it. They love doing it.
a little more info. This game was originally announced in it was seen in I think it was like a German magazine in August of 2017. It was actually August 19th, 2017. It was seen in a German magazine, and it said it was Fable, but with kung fu animals, and that's how it was in the magazine. So that was before it had announced. So and then 2 days later, and August 21st of 2017, it was officially announced by the head of the studio, Stefan. I'm not going to try to say his last name. It's Stefan.
There we go.
And so Stefan said that the game was content complete. All the content is there. The world is there. They just needed to fill it with stuff for us to play, because you don't want it to be one of those games where it's an open world, but there's nothing to do when you're going from A to B. It's open world essentially for no reason. Like it could have been a linear game and still had the same effect. You're just walking in a plain of fields, basically.
That's the fine line all these games have to play, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do open world, there has to be enough stuff to do in between the main quests. There has to be enough stuff.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that they give us. I hope they give us more of this Oblivion Far Cry world they're teasing me with, because I'm seeing the features, but I hope your world is just as alive as the Far Cries and the Elder Scrolls games, because oh man.
Exactly. Like if you give me if you give me a
Fallout. I meant to say I said Far Cry, but I meant to say Fallout.
Right. Like if you give me a Fallout or even Far Cry, because they're open world and all that. Like,
yeah, Far Cry 2.
Give me a game like that, but the combat system is
my god,
like a Devil May Cry or like a Breath of the Wild type, super fast, super twitchy. Bro, sign me up.
Yeah,
sign me up. Like, so, dude, be involved.
Right. So he said it was content complete. They just needed time to fill the game out. He also mentioned that one of the most difficult things for the development team was to find a balance in the combat system and making it intuitive, which from what I've seen, I think they did a really good job, man. It was fluid. It looked intuitive. It looked great. The game was initially slated for 2018.
For that.
Yeah, so it was initially slated for 2018. Then it was pushed to summer of 2019 when they said a little tweet, summer 2019. Again, it didn't come out. And then they went like on a hiatus for a minute. They just kind of went blank. And then they released another trailer showing more of the game and its world and what it has to offer in June of 2020, which is that 10-minute video that I saw. And then it said coming ellipses when we are happy with it. So they're like, we don't want to make any more promises. The game is just going to come out when we want to happen to when we are happy with it. And
coming out, not going to do a Cyberpunk. We promise.
Exactly. Yes. Like we're gonna come out with it. And Stefan said it's a big game and a big bite for 20 people to chew off. Basically, why it's taking them so long, because it's in depth. You have a Bethesda-sized title on the shoulder of 20 people, 18 people to be exact. So
right.
It's gonna be
take
tough.
your time.
This is what I love about indies.
Listen, and you need to delay it again. Do it.
Right,
You want to make.
What's the name of the envision?
Experiment 101.
Experiment 101, bro. Take your time.
Yeah,
do your thing.
Thing looks so good. People we're getting hype. Take your time. And if THQ Nordic is on your back, tell them to call me, bro.
I think they're fine, because they started working on this game right after the studio was founded in 2015. And then they was acquired in 2017. So that just gave them more backing, more money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so they just been working on it ever. This is their first and only title. So they've literally been working on it the past 6 years.
6 years.
The content was already complete back in 2017. So now it's just hammering out anything that's wrong. They have 4 years of hammering out any issues in adding content.
And adding quests and content and items and
in theory, we should not. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Don't really want to jinx it. It shouldn't get 27.7. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't get
CP.
You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't get CP. Our
this is what we're doing now. We're coming up with these.
I'm just saying.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
The game, it had a lot of pushbacks, but just recently it was announced that it should be coming on May 25th of 2021. So we are just a few months away from being able to actually play this game ourselves.
Man, oh man, I can't wait to talk. Yeah, this has been one of those like low key.
I already pre-ordered it.
Our games. You already pre-ordered
it?
It's on PC.
This has been one of those low key games. I saw it at maybe we was watching an event or something, and mentioned, and people were just moving on real quick. I was like, that looked cool.
Hold on, what's that about?
Yeah, and those type of games, they stick with me, and I was like, this thing looks dope. And then I saw the gameplay trailer on Sunday, and I was like, oh oh, this looks way cooler. Apparently, this thing was at PAX East 17, so it was here. Like it was in New England, and people could have saw it and touched it.
Yeah.
It's just these types of games get me excited. Like I love when a team comes together and just trying something different, or if it's not crazy different, they're trying to mash together a bunch of different things that they like. So it looks fun, man. I'm excited for it.
I'm definitely in the opinion that teams, publishers, developers, whoever need to take more risks. And I wouldn't call this game risky, but they definitely did a good job of mashing up a bunch of, I don't know if it's their favorite things, but it's for sure a bunch of my favorite things into one thing that looks like a beautiful work of art. Even if they did pick little cute, annoying characters.
I think it's always a risk to mix genres. Like this is a genre mix. Not all things mesh well together. Yeah. But they clearly
it's always a risk to even try a new IP these days. So
yeah. No, I would definitely consider that risk.
Dude,
and
seriously.
they doing it. You see what happens when you get risk, right? High risk, high reward.
That's it.
They about to get money from this game.
That's it, man. I just had a discussion the other day about how I wish companies would take more risks, man. Because
we were talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen a draw system like Final Fantasy VIII since Final Fantasy VIII. There's been nothing. Yeah. There's been nothing like it since.
I think the only companies that take risks are indies or smaller companies. All these other, like all the big companies, they're like rinse, wash, repeat. They do the same stuff over and over and over because they know it works and they know it sells.
It sells. But
there's thousands of games that people don't know about that create all these cool systems, all the things that you wish are in games. They're out there. It's not being done by Activision and Blizzard and all these companies.
Yep, and that way it falls under the normal people's radar. They never see it, and then
people just play Call of Duty over and over and over, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, but like there's just a whole vast world out there of games that just dope. Like they're just cool. They come up with all this cool stuff that you just don't know there.
Cool concepts get lost in the sauce because AAAs don't make them, and they don't get seen by the masses, which is unfortunate. I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I saw them. I don't play too many indie games. I'm upset that the AAAs. I'm upset that the AAA companies don't take, because, you know, I've been playing games for a long time. So I remember when AAA companies used to take risks and they used to. So I'm just like, yo, what happened to you guys? Like, I've been with you for a while. Why you switch up on me like this? Like, you know what I mean?
You know what I think it is? It's because that's when they were on the come up, right? Because like
when they were the indie.
Like when did Square become a AAA studio? Like when does the studio, like when do we nominate them as a AAA studio? Like when does that happen? You know,
I think Square's been AAA since SNES
because they were on the come up, and then they came out with something crazy and it changed the game and blah blah blah, and then now they just have their stuff for years. They just kind of made not the same game, but they made stuff kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
Now, not until now that they're trying other things. Like Final Fantasy 16 looks completely different. The Project Athia, we don't even know what that is yet.
Oh, we don't even know what that is.
Still don't know what that is.
Different things like they're doing Outriders. They tried to do a looter. You know what I mean? Like they're trying different stuff. So shout out to them for that.
But see, but that's the thing though. They are trying to do so the thing about that is they are taking risks, but not necessarily taking a risk. Because they are making a looter, which is already a cemented genre. They are trying to go more Western with their RPGs, which is Western is a cemented genre. So like they are taking risks with their own IP. They're going more out of their comfort zone, but they're not necessarily taking risks and coming up with like these new ideas. They are finding a good way to mesh what they're good at with an area that they are new to, but they haven't thrown their own stone, or they haven't, like, you know what I mean? Just like I said, with Final Fantasy VIII's battle system is something so new. Yeah,
I think that goes with the time, though. Like, I think that's like a technology thing, because like I feel like there's always going to be a tiny nuance of a game that's going to be slightly different than the other game. Like you take Grandia 2 versus, I don't know, Final Fantasy 9. Like they have their own little systems that are in the game. But if you peel it back and you sit someone down who doesn't really know the genre like that, they'll say that the game looks similar. Because it's like a group of people, it's a turn-based RPG and a turn-based RPG. So like as the technology got better, then companies start to shift. They start to change and they go with the times of what's popular during that time. So like you might have two looters that kind of do the same stuff and they have a little thing about that one that's different. And there's a little thing about that one that's different. And I think if you go back to when we were coming up, you might be playing two completely different JRPGs, but there might be one battle thing that's different about that one and one little thing that's different about that one. And I think we're in that same stew now. That like there might be something a little different about that shooter that's a little different from that shooter, so you might gravitate to that one. But they're both just an FPS. There's just 100 of them. There's thousands of them.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And with the saturation of all these new companies that have come up from the time we were playing games, there weren't as many companies as there were now. There are way more, and indie's a whole genre now. Now there are hundreds of thousands of those companies. Mm-hmm. So you have these guys making games too, and then the saturation and the different. There isn't even that little minute differentiation might not seem as much of a difference anymore. So
yeah.
When something finally different happens, something like this, it's so noticeable.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's definitely it's very noticeable when something is released that is just drastically different, or something that's just really good at doing what's popular.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So in any case,
heard you mentioned Call of Duty earlier.
Yeah, we mentioned it a lot.
Sure did.
Let me hit you with 2 dates really quick. Okay. Oh, not really a date, but with a couple years real quick. So in 2019, Call of Duty Modern Warfare publisher Activision Blizzard introduced a new character to its roster, an operator named Mara. And everybody went.
I switched to her immediately with the utmost obedience.
That's not a word, but we'll take it.
Yes, it is.
Like he said, everybody gravitated towards Mara because it's a strong, prominent woman figure wielding weapons of war and looking good at it. So that was in 2019. In 2021, last Thursday to be precise, Clayton Haugen, a plaintiff, filed a copyright infringement lawsuit in a Texas courthouse based on this Mara character.
Ooh.
Now it's interesting how there's a 2-year gap between that, and these lawsuits take a little while to gather all evidence and all that stuff. And you know me, I like my lawsuits, so
I like my lawsuits.
Is this the 3rd week straight I've covered a lawsuit? That's crazy.
It might be. It could be.
It could be. Our defendant this time, Activision Publishing, Activision Blizzard, Infinity Ward, and interestingly enough, I tried looking this up and I couldn't find any reason for it. Major League Gaming, probably because they actually own Infinity Ward in some capacity. But let's talk about the plaintiff, Clayton Haugen. He's a writer, photographer, and videographer. He actually has a movie out that came out in August 2020, which starred Bruce Willis, called Hard Kill.
Oh.
I never heard of Hard
Kill. You may not have heard of Hard Kill because it has a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's tough.
It is one of, I think I actually looked this up. There's like 30 movies on it that got 0%, and that's one of them. That's not the list you want to be on.
It's a Netflix film, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't watch the movie. It's in my list.
You saw it.
Yeah.
So his photography and his other works typically center on dystopian science fiction, post-apocalyptica, and military themes.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, that one of his works ended up in a essentially military simulator. Funnily enough, these sorts of allegations have been cropping up a lot. So there was another allegation in January. An indie studio claimed that Apex Legends character Fuse is based on one of their characters in the upcoming game. But that one's not as solid as this one because it's coincidence, parallel thought or if it's just who knows. And last year, I don't know if y'all remember this, but that new League of Legends character that came out, Seraphine, there was a woman that claimed that her life is based on her also, which
pink hair, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one kind of fell by the wayside also. Whereas this one is sticking. So
Activision ceiling.
Clayton Haugen, he brought this action to this Texas law firm utilizing 2 of his literary works and 22 photographs of his character that he created called Cade Janus. Now it's spelled Janus. I'm just using the Latin pronunciation. So Janus, if you want to pronounce it that way. So the literary work that he wrote was called November Renaissance, which is a story set in a new future. That's one of his themes. So the basic premise, the central character is this Cade Janus, a female vigilante and pariah figure caught up in near future corporate warfare, directed by a, quote, non-human intelligence over control of the process of human augmentation. That's a lot of words to basically say it's like a combination of MGS2 and Cyberpunk. So MGS2, the non-human intelligence that's running everything, GW, right, and human augmentation. Actually, a lot of Cyberpunk games are coming out, but we'll use the most obvious one. And Deus Ex, if you play that series. But what he says in his lawsuit is that he created this very distinct and multi-dimensional female protagonist because he believed that his novel could be a successful film, and the, quote, unique female lead would distinguish it from an oversaturated market of action and science fiction movies. So here we go about saturation. There's a whole lot of it in the area, and we're trying to be different.
Right.
So during this process, he wanted to visualize the character because, you can write a novel all you want, but we're all going to determine how the character looks differently.
Exactly.
So he brought this to film studios. So he recruited talent. Her name is Alex Zedra, by the way. She's on Instagram if you want to take a look. So he recruited her on how he wanted to play the Cade character. This is back in 2017. So he photographed her, and then he sent out to all these film studios and such. And he is convinced that Activision went out of their way to take his work, his literal work, everything he done, and put it into their game. So these are all the instances that he had highlighted. So he used the photographs as guides on how to frame their own imaging in photographs. So they even have an instance of how to portray a character in their games before Modern Warfare come out. So he even stole his bases on how characters are portrayed. So in this, Infinity Ward and his contractors uses the photographs as a guide, and at one point even posted them on their studio walls. So he took his literal works, put it on a board, and pinned it up there.
So they took his actual photo shoot, the pictures that he used to be like, yo, here's my novel. This is the way the character looks, the photo shoot. And they took that work and put it on their wall as they were making their character.
So so back then he had a website. Like I said, he put on his website, the pictures that he puts to other publishing companies, and his Instagram. They're still on his Instagram to this day.
Of course. To this day.
And they took all that and put on the board. They hired the same talent who had posed for Cade's photographs. So they hired the same person to portray their works in Infinity Ward's game. So they hired Alex Zedra. They hired the actual person that went for that was in Haugen's novel. So they hired her to pose for photographs and 3-dimensional scanning that they would use to develop the animated in-game character Mara for Modern Warfare, and to also use it for marketing purposes. Because when they announced it, she was on the face of everything.
She was.
Not only did they hire the same talent, they asked her to ask Haugen, the novel writer, for the same clothing and gear that she wore when she created the Cade character.
Wow.
Bro, yo, Activision, pay this man. Yo, pay this man. Wow. Activision, pay this man. Go ahead.
The defendants, Activision and them, provided the talent, Alex, with military style clothing similar to what the plaintiff had provided her for his wardrobe when he wanted her to cast for Cade's character.
Right.
Defendants had even tried to use his own wardrobe and props. A contractor from Activision stated that he did not have female tactical clothing available for her, so they asked her to ask him for the original clothing for the photo shoot for Activision.
What in the what?
Yo.
Okay, first of all, how do you not just have military? How come you can't just get military clothing for your? You asked them to, can you go borrow
your Activision? Yeah.
Yo, I can't even wrap my head around this. This seems so absurd. It seems fake. It seems like
It's wild, right? It is not fake.
It's like they be like, let's see how much we can get away with till we get sued.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It gets better. They hired the same makeup professional who hired talent for Hagen's photos.
Yo,
she got the same they got the same person. They tried to get that same person to get the same clothes, and they got the same person to do the makeup. They directed the makeup artist to style the talent's hair exactly how she had it for Hagen's Janus pictures, even using the same hairpiece extension.
Dog.
They just go to my man Hagen's like, yo, we want that character. Here's some bread.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do that?
At that point.
And then
anything to not pay somebody, right?
Anything to not pay somebody. And then at that point, once they got all that, they photographed her and they 3D scanned her as a guide to put her in the video games.
That is wild.
So he claims the defendants used these, and I'm reading off the actual lawsuit, but this one was way shorter than last week's, which was like 100 pages. This one's like 22, so I just read through it. So he claims that the defendant had used these infringing photos and 3D images to develop the animated in-game character Mara for Modern Warfare, and used those photographs to market the game. He believes that with this infringing female character as the centerpiece as your ad campaign, for the first time in the COD series, they ended up shattering all their previous sales records and games played records. They generated billions of dollars
because of this character.
Because of this.
So Activision saw this character and was like, "Oh, we're gonna make bank. She's a beast. We want that character." Mm-hmm. They hired the same actress.
Yep.
They hired the same makeup team. They asked the actress to get the clothes and hair extension and all the outfits and everything
old stuff from the old shoot.
Dude who made the character.
Yep.
They used his photo shoot
as
while
reference,
making the character.
Yep.
And now they in court talking about, nah, it ain't the same character.
It ain't really much all like that, to be honest with you.
It ain't even all like that. So that was the top half of the lawsuit. The bottom half,
but wait, there's more.
There's more. Because I'm like, okay, maybe they're reaching. Maybe, you know what? I'm gonna do y'all a favor because I need y'all for the people listening, post-production. If you go to torrentfeek.com, it's one of their top stories. There's a link directly to this complaint, which outlines essentially everything that I've stated and the photographs that are used in court. For those of us that are live with us right now, I just provided a link that I need you to look at because this is crazy how blatant this is. So there was all of that.
Yo, Clayton Hagen, bro.
This started
this
actually started before Modern Warfare that I looked into this. So for those who will actually click on that, you can advance to page 11 to see the actual photographs comparison. So from Hagen's photo shoot for when he was with the actress to when Activision was with her, and you can see the difference.
What difference?
It's the same character.
Different. It's the same character. So they actually used this before Modern Warfare. So there was an internal I don't want to call it an operation, but it was an internal project of Activision's. And they used one of those images in the development of Black Ops 4, actually. Now, she's not in the game, but they use her as reference material.
Mm-hmm.
and their objective was our casting should be reflective of the makeup of the modern population.
So that's their argument.
That was their argument. So in the upcoming game, they didn't want to have like a all male, all single race type cast in their lineup. So they brought her on to kind of be like an influence to say, okay, this is one of the examples on how we can make our operators, our character selection more diverse.
Okay, but you could have made it more diverse by not stealing my man's character.
By not stealing,
or even you could have. Now, is that another move by them to be like, well, we had references for this character in our last game, so it's our character. Now fall back, bro. You literally stole Clayton's character.
Yeah, you see it, right? It's quite literal. Like even in one of the portraits, they have like the exact eye, like everything is exact from. I can't even talk because of how crazy this is.
This like it's the same person. It is the same person.
It is literally. It is the same person.
It's the same makeup crew.
The Call of Duty games. This is more of their statements. The Call of Duty games needed more diverse characters. The next game in the series was Modern Warfare. A strong, skilled female fighter was just what the defenders needed, and they found this character in Hagen's Cade Yanu's photographs. To conceal their planned infringement of these photographs and of the characters, defendants required the talent and the makeup professionals to sign NDAs.
Oof. Oh my gosh.
In lawsuit. There hasn't been a single word from Activision in regards to this just yet.
Oh, man, I was hoping. I want to hear what they got to say.
I'm just trying to figure out
say about this.
I'm interested as to what they had to say, but I was more confused as to what Alex was saying, like the talent. Yeah. And if you go on her Instagram, on her website, she has a website also, you see she has a merch section, which has these infringing materials on it. On her Instagram, she states, I am Call of Duty's Mara.
Well, okay, I can
actors trying to get a check.
Like, I was going to say that she's just trying to get money, and she's also trying to maximize. Call of Duty is clearly the larger game, so that's what you're going to gravitate towards more.
You're going to gravitate towards someone who got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes versus someone who sells tens of millions of copies of a game a year. I see that.
I mean, you just look at it like this: like that dude was hiring for a gig, she took it. Mm-hmm. Activision was hiring for a gig. She took it.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's
pretty clear. Yeah.
And Call of Duty is very massive, so you want to attach your name to a Call of Duty franchise. Like, hey, the person the character that everybody loves and that you see everywhere is me, so that more talent searchers can look at her and be like, okay, yeah, we want her or whatever. So yeah, it makes sense for her, but. Really, I wanted to see what Activision has to say in all of this because
I can't.
Because I guarantee you, if DICE or some other company was like, "Yo, let's hire her and hire the same makeup crew and get this," can you ask Activision if we can get the outfits that you wore? So we can do the photo shoot too. I guarantee you, Activision would be like, "Yo, see you in court."
See, man. So there was. I was looking for the Activision. I'm still gonna look because I'm pretty sure there was something outside of the default, but like, oh, we don't speak on ongoing litigation or something like that. Yeah. But this is 100% blatant. There's like no misconception, no confusion of this might be that or nah. That's her. You took the actual content and they made your own content off of that, like that was your original work.
You literally stole this man's work. You stole his character. Like he came up with a character. Like he made this character. Like he hired the person he wanted. He got the photo shoot. He wanted the outfits, everything. He made this character. Activision was like, "Yeah, bro, run that." That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so like. I need to see. Yeah, I'm with him.
I'm with Clayton.
But I'm all the way. I have to see what Activision's gonna say.
I'm really
Sometimes
curious.
you can kind of weasel yourself out of these things.
I'm really curious to see what Activision has to say. And this is something that happens very, very, very often in the fashion industry. You'll see this plenty of times. A lot of larger companies will see something that an indie, smaller company will that they put out something and they like it, or they take it in some way, shape, or form and make it their own. And there's not really much the smaller
entity can do,
the smaller team can do, because the bigger team clearly has more money to defend themselves with, and it's just it sucks. It sucks.
Right. I really hope that in this instance it's so blatant, it's so absurd that the plaintiff can win this, because man, that's sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that's a deterrent. Like that makes you like second guess the whole industry. It makes you like, it like breaks your heart, man. It's like this whole industry, like film and TV and video games, all about creativity. It's all about creating your creations, your characters, your stories, and to have a big company come in and just steal your character,
steal your work, like,
it's just sad, man.
Yeah,
well, and thinking that there's going to be no repercussion about like this. My goodness, yeah, this man, I'm confident he's going to get paid from this.
I feel like there's no argument. Yeah, you can't argue with that. Like,
this, bro, you're gonna have to pay this man because y'all wild out.
No, there ain't no settlement in this one. Get maximum paper, because this is blatant theft. They hung it up on their board, man.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm just hoping that, what's that guy's name? Cade or something like that.
That's the Cade Yano is the character.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping whoever the little guy is, I'm hoping Activision loses. I'll say that. I'm hoping Activision loses.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I don't even think I think that's a loss. Like in the other ones, like I said, in the other two cases that I brought up earlier, like the riot case and all of that, there wasn't really any. The woman claimed that Seraphine looked like her, but you would have to like kind of reach for it for them to have some similarities. Like they didn't have any like previous shooting with like another entity to show that her likeness was used elsewhere. This one, yeah.
So, I guess that means it is only time for everybody's favorite time of the week. Yeah. That is everybody's favorite segment, B's Throwback of the Week.
Oh, I hear it this time.
Oh, we can actually hear it.
Come on, what you thought? Thought I wasn't the producer?
What?
All right, what we got, B?
Okay,
what you got for us, cousin?
So, ladies and gentlemen of the Triggered Squad, this week I have a game hailing from Midway Games. This game was released in
Midway
1997.
Games. You know what? You're doing that on purpose. I know you're doing that on purpose.
No, well, kind of, but yeah, So this game was released in 1997. It was developed by Midway Games and published by Midway Games. This game is NFL Blitz, the first NFL Blitz. Yes.
NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz, man. Arcade football.
Wait a minute. Very important question. Which version did you have?
I had I think I had it for 64.
And 64 is the only one I ever played it for.
I had the 64 version also, but I swear it came out for PS1 also.
No, it was on
PS1.
It came out in arcade first in 97, and then it was released on consoles in 98. So it came
I only
to
had the 64 version.
I didn't even know it came to PlayStation.
and the PC. And Game Boy Color in 98.
But also, I only played it at
that's
the
a
Baker
reach.
House as well. I've never owned it myself. I only played it at.
I had that cartridge.
Oh man,
That was
so. For those of you that don't know, NFL Blitz is a football game plus Mortal Kombat.
No, it's so good.
Like Midway Games just knew how to make really fun, aggressive games, right? They did Mortal Kombat at the time, so it was just this NBA Jam, crazy, aggressive arcade game dressed up.
I love it.
In the NFL, like there were like no penalties, there was like no substitutions. You could do like drop kicks. This game was insane.
It was OD.
It was so much fun. It was OD. It took all the simulation out of a sports game and just added arcade fun factor.
Yeah,
and just craziness, over the top ridiculousness, and it was a smash hit. Smash hit. This game
and you know
was
me.
a hit.
I love. All right, I don't want to say I love cheat codes, but sometimes you feel like just wilding out after you beat a game. You insert some cheat codes.
Oh, so this was a cheat code game.
Oh, of course. So Midway, they had their cheat code system, which was if you played the old Mortal Kombat games, you had the 6 icons on the bottom. So the player 1 controlled the first 3, player 2 controlled the last 3. Depending on the combination, some wild things happen. Your players might have giant heads. They might explode on contact. They might only throw Hail Marys. You might be faster than Flash. Yo, it was crazy.
Yo, they had unlimited turbo, unlimited turbo strength.
Yo, the turbo. Oh my goodness.
Just hold R and just juke infinite juke. Come on.
That game was
the reception
crazy.
on this game was so high. So the 64 version got a 90, the PC got an 86, and the PlayStation version got a 90. That should tell you, and that's just like the Metacritic scores, like to go into like IGN, all that stuff, 9.1, 8.5, 9.4.
High.
Game
playable.
It came out during that era of fun factor, like sports games, like the Tony Hawks of the world. NFL Blitz.
SSX, Cool Borders.
Was just fun. You didn't have to like sports games in order to just hop in and just have a blast on NFL Blitz. You didn't. You didn't have to have.
I didn't play those sports games, but you could run NFL Blitz on my TV at any point.
It's just a fun-loving game. You just throw in that game. I feel like the football aspect is like plan B. It's like the second part of it, but the first part is wilding out. It's just like you have to play the football just so you can do the wild stuff that you want to do in the game.
Exactly. Like it's only football because of it has to have that scoring and to make it feel it's your turn to throw a haymaker, and then it's their turn to throw a haymaker. Like in watching sports, like you're down 2 scores, it's the fourth quarter, you're trying to fight back to win. Other than that, it's not a sports game.
Just not at all. Create as much mayhem as possible.
Literally, just no rules, just clothesline somebody. Shut up. Hold this clothesline, bro. Nobody care.
Injuries? What are those? Get back on the field and get close.
What's an injury, bro? Get back on the pitch. So, man. I love real sports games. I love simulations, but I also love arcade games. I love NBA Jam, NBA Street Hoops. I love all those games. And this 3v3 was no different.
Dude, NBA
3v3.
Street.
I love all those types of games.
I used to absolutely love NBA Street. That was my freaking game, dude. Oh my
I don't think I played enough of that actually. Or NFL Street, either one of those.
You used to be able to break the backboard. You bust a dunk and you can just smash the backboard. Like it was
and the dunk be worth 5 points because you did the special one.
Because you did something crazy. Damn.
You can do one moves. Like that game was just absolutely wild.
Oh yeah. Weren't there multiple of those? Or wasn't it like NBA Street and then 2 or 3 or whatever? There was a number of them.
I think there was a couple.
NBA Street?
I think it was just NBA Street.
Yeah, dude. There was NFL Street where you could jump off the wall and then throw the ball. Yo, I love these arcade games. It's so fun.
I didn't play NFL Street. I only played NBA
I played FIFA
Street
too. There was a FIFA Street.
There was a FIFA Street?
I didn't know there was a FIFA Street.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
So like that's where. So if you play current FIFA, there's a mode called Volta.
Yeah,
it's basically it's a watered down version of FIFA Street.
FIFA Street was a thing.
Wait, you say Volta is watered down? Wow.
Yeah, because like you can't because in FIFA Street, bro, you can like tackle somebody.
Oh, you can do
all
ridiculous things. Okay,
legal
fine.
stuff.
Fair
enough.
Fair enough.
But like the kicking the ball off the wall and all that came from FIFA Street. All of that.
Yeah.
That's where Volta gets all that from. And now like that's a real sport. Like people really play those 3v3s. Like those.
Oh,
that's
Voltas?
a real.
Yeah,
that's a
like
real
that.
thing. Like freestyle. Yeah, like
3v3
soccer freestyle. Like it's a real thing. And
that I'd play.
Yeah, but like, dude, I love these types of games. And NFL Blitz was one of the first ones, man.
They need to bring them back.
This thing came out. I think they did bring back a Blitz. It came out not too long ago.
It did.
There was one that came out not too long ago.
But it just wasn't like the original.
NFL Blitz 2012. It came out for PS3 and one of the Xboxes.
How'd it do?
Let's see here.
I don't think it did too well.
It had 8. Yeah, it did okay.
NFL.
IGN gave it it was called NFL Blitz. Yeah, it was a reboot. It was called NFL Blitz, and it was done by EA.
Oh,
we almost disrespected. We almost forgot about NHL Hits.
NHL Hits.
I never heard of NHL Hits.
Dude,
yo, Midway had all the
everybody jumped on the arcade style.
The sports beat 'em ups.
Everyone jumped on. Yeah, everyone jumped on sports beat 'em ups. Everybody.
Wait a minute. So no, Midway made NFL Blitz. Did they make NBA?
NBA Street? The Street one?
No. Well, no, there was no like Blitz version of NBA back then. It was Jam.
Right. NBA Jam was Midway.
So NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, NHL Hits. That was all Midway.
That was all Midway.
Oh wow.
I don't think FIFA Street was with them.
No, NFL Street.
They cornered the market on them
EA.
sports beat 'em ups.
Mm-hmm.
So EA got so EA big was the
FIFA
Street.
The
NBA Street, NFL Street. They made those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, EA big. I remember those cats.
EA Sports.
EA big. It's in the game.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And
They used to bring it back.
NFL Streets. Crazy.
How many?
Three. There was 3 of both.
So there was 3
and NBA.
NFL Street.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right now they're on NBA. What is it? NBA
Volume
Playgrounds.
3? Oh! You talking
NBA
about
Playground is like the new NBA Jam, NBA Street smash up.
You can do what? You can do stuff like that in the playground.
Yeah,
rolling
like
on the floor and.
Yep, you can do all that ridiculous stuff. It's like a fusion of NBA Jam and NBA Street. Like you can do you can jump way up in the air. Oh, boom! You can do all that crazy.
Yo, you did it.
He's on.
Yo, I loved NBA Street.
He's on fire.
So like NBA Street was cartoonish, but they were like humanoid. You know,
It was
like
human.
they looked,
Yeah.
NBA Playgrounds is like a fusion. So like they have the big heads and stuff like NBA Jam. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It kind of looks like NBA Jam,
Yo.
but they can still do like like you do a slip and slide behind the back, jump in the air, throw it off the backboard, all types of craziness.
I felt the flyest on the block in NBA Jam when you going for a dunk and everybody you're in the air and now you just see the crowd taking pictures.
All the pictures?
Oh my goodness. He just
classic.
boom. Yo.
It's classic.
It just makes you feel so hype, so alive when you play those games, man.
Look at that. Like those little simple things like that just made you feel so good. Like those people are fake, but yo, they watch it, man.
Yo, for real,
great.
man. It's
great.
like he's on fire. He's got mad cow disease.
Mad cow disease.
Yo, good, bro. Like these games are fun. Like sports are fun. So then when you add like all the crazy arcade stuff of video games, like it's just fun. Like they have WWE playgrounds. Like everyone got in on this. Everyone got in on it.
Wow, those are WWE playgrounds. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, bro. And like Stone Cold can like freeze you. Like they just go crazy.
You know what I
Bro,
did?
it's
You
so
know what I never
ridiculous.
played? I never
What's
played
up?
those backyard wrestling games.
The backyard.
Oh, yeah. There was a backyard series of
Yeah, I
games. It
think
was
it
like
was called. I
backyard
think it was literally called
baseball, and then
Backyard.
wrestling.
Yeah, no, they were definitely called backyard wrestling
Yeah.
game. They were definitely called.
It was a backyard series because I had backyard baseball.
It was called "Don't Try This at Home."
That's what it was called.
It's called Backyard Wrestling. Don't try this at home. That was the first one. It came out. In
Okay.
2003
Yeah.
For the Xbox and PlayStation, and there was a sequel.
There was
Of course, there was.
Yo, guess who published it? Guess who published that?
who?
Can I get a clue?
If I say Tomb Raider, then you know, right? So,
Oh damn! What?
Sony?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Square?
well, it's Sony now, but it was
Eidos.
Eidos.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Tomb Raider.
They published it.
Tomb Raider
Bro,
came out with
everyone-
Backyard, huh?
Everyone
I
was
would've-
trying
I
to
would've-
get in on these arcade style sports games. Everyone,
It was selling.
they did well, man. They're fun.
Because
They
that's
are
back when
ridiculous fun.
I think like the mid to late '90s was like the arcade period before before
Yeah,
these
like
consoles
the
got
late
powerful enough for
'90s,
you to
early
stay home.
2000s. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you had RPGs and arcade games. That's how everybody
yeah.
played.
Bam.
Yeah, because the real sports games weren't there yet, right? Like they were fun,
Nah.
but they weren't how they like 2K11 changed 2K. Like
See-
I feel like we're still playing 2K11 still now. It's the same.
See, I used to play 2K early on. Was it 2K? I believe it was 2K.
No, it's
Early
been 2K
on.
since 2K.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the
but
very first one was for Dreamcast.
I just don't remember.
I played it at your house.
So then, okay, right. So and then that was the one where when you wanted to shoot, you was literally angling an arrow, like it was an arrow that you had to aim for the hoop, and then the ball would follow the arrow. So like, yeah,
Early one.
it's come a long way from what it used to be.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who was on the So Allen Iverson was on the cover of the original. But who was on the cover of 11? I'm gonna guess LeBron James. Let's see. NBA 2K11.
So I just
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan's on the cover of.
Wow.
Michael Jordan is on the cover of that one. I remember
11.
that being the one where that changed it, where they had all like all the realistic touching and all that, the defense changed, everything changed. Like that was the one.
Yeah.
Wanna know why? Because they took risks and they wanted to be more realistic.
Yeah,
And now look.
they did a lot with that.
And they did it.
But
now they're selling us the same game for the past 11 years.
You know what? I saw somebody. Where did I see this? I saw it somewhere. And it's a tough conversation to have because people have. Okay. People say that the sports games, I'll say, are the same for the last X amount of years. They've been the same. They don't really change much. Whatever.
They change,
whatever.
but yeah.
They change some stuff. They
add.
Yep.
I can really only speak for 2K, really, or I'm sorry, NBA. But like they changed the dribbling. They updated stuff. But it's like the sport in itself doesn't change. So you can't really change the game in any way. Like you can try to update it and make it more realistic, but the sport in itself does not.
That's
change.
what they do. So the NBA has changed. So they changed some crucial rules. So now
In the NFL too?
Yes. So it's more offense based now. Like in the NBA, hand checking is gone. The shot clock is 24 seconds, but if you get an offensive rebound, it's 14. You don't get a fresh 24. So it's to encourage more scoring. So the NBA is faster now. Like the athletes are better. The sport is just faster. People score way more points. Like people score 130 as a normal
50s. I'm like, never have I seen this before.
2K hasn't caught up to the speed of the modern NBA, of Steph Curry's NBA.
So wait, it hasn't changed the rules in the game yet?
Well, yeah, the rules have changed, but the speed of the game isn't fast. Like, it's not quick like that yet.
It has the mid-teen speed.
See, that's where you lost me.
Yeah,
if it has the same rules, meaning if you catch a rebound, you only got 14 seconds. You still only have 14 seconds.
Right, but the characters move really slow.
Oh, the characters don't move.
Really slow. It's still like that, like trying to post up and play really slow from like when it was LeBron's league in 2011. It hasn't. They haven't.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
play slow post up with only 14.
Yeah, I think like with the new technology of the new consoles, like maybe the next one, hopefully it'll get there. But like you said, like sports games, they add something every game.
Yeah,
so
every
like
game.
If you don't play for 10 years, it's a completely different game. But if you play every year, you're kind of desensitized to it. You're like, oh, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's not. Like even I say, oh, it's the same thing, but it's not. Like the new FIFA has new stuff in it that wasn't in the last one, but that wasn't in the one before that, you know? So it's just, as a sports fan, you're like, yo, hurry up. You know what I mean? But you put so many hours into these games. But I definitely want to see 2K get faster. Definitely. To kind of feel more like the modern NBA. Like the way that these guys score, like it's just crazy. Like Bradley Beal scores 40 points a game. Like, it's insane. Like it's just, and in 2K, it's still like that tight. Like you still feel like you should be playing Shaq in the paint still. Like, you know what I mean? But
I guess I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I guess it's still too clunky. The characters don't move.
It's definitely
enough
like it's dope that they have all of that, you know, but it's like people don't really play in the post anymore. Like people don't really play like that. It's a completely different league now. And you want to see the game reflected. They're getting there.
Okay.
Like, it's definitely a little quicker, but it's not what it is. Like dudes it's fast break transition basketball. Like 90% of the teams in the league. Like the Golden State Warriors changed the NBA. Like, everyone wants to have a LeBron James and 100 like Steph Curry's and Klay Thompson's on the team. That's what every team is trying to get. A point forward, like a big old guy who can score but also pass like LeBron, and a whole bunch of shooting. Like everyone plays that way. Like the Utah Jazz are like they have the best record in the league right now. They score the most 3-pointers in the league. Every team is like that now. That's just the way it goes, man. So like it's like watching NBA Jam. It's crazy how much these sports they've changed for the offensive side of the ball. Absolutely, it's impossible to play defense in the NFL, and it's difficult to play defense in the NBA. It's impossible to play defense in the NFL.
Impossible?
I've heard it called.
I don't know. Didn't they do some QB protection stuff? You can't be roughing up the QB as much as you could anymore. Something like that?
I've heard it.
It's really hard to play defense.
I've heard it called National Flag League.
Yeah, I mean, if you're part of the old guard, then you're gonna call it that. You're definitely gonna call it that.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Like if you are a defensive fan, it is really hard to watch or play defense in the National Football League. It's tough.
That's unfortunate.
But because anything you do, and they're like, "That's NFL blitz. Get it out of the game, bro." They throwing the flags. But man. All that to say,
NFL Blitz, huh?
NFL Blitz
is a classic of a sports game. It is just wonderful.
I might stream a game of it in a little bit. Who knows?
Here we go.
Discord, you hop up in there to see an old work of art one time. Speaking of sports, you know, it's our second favorite time of the show is our recap. Since we're on the topic of sports, how y'all feel about EA
TLC, college football?
And the
bro.
NCAA.
Miss me with that.
EA is so trash, dude. They're so trash.
I'm so disappointed in the CLC and EA for what they're doing and how they are not using player likeness. They are completely circumventing the NCAA's new rules. and not using player likeness, and no one's being paid.
Yeah, that's corny.
Bro.
That's
I'm not getting that game.
Trash behavior. That's how I feel about it. Trash behavior.
Yeah, trash, bro. Straight trash.
The only reason I bought an EA game is because my friend asked me to. That's it. I ain't supporting. I don't even play sports games like that. So y'all already bad in my book. So for y'all to be adding more trash onto the heat, okay.
And Activision are thieves. Yo, straight up glue on the gloves, sticky finger bandit thieves, man.
That's some straight up like Home Alone 1 type behavior. Like, what are you doing? We see what you're doing. Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
Yeah, hard pass on that. How you feeling about it, B?
Trash. They are trash. Y'all know how I feel about creativity and all of that. Creativity is paramount in these industries, and they are just stealing this man's character. Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. Pay that man. Pay that man.
Now from a game we're not buying to a game that we are buying.
Absolutely. Biomutant is looking fire. That is seeming like a major purchase coming out May 25th of this year, a couple of months down the line. It's looking like a major purchase, man. That's looking like a buy. That's like Cyberpunk high, but hopefully it doesn't have the same type of opening.
Well, yeah, what did you say? Let's not 2077 it?
Yeah, let's not 2077 it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want no parts of that. We don't want no parts of that. So
you getting it, B?
Oh, bro, I mean, you guys know I'm a fan of this game. I was very hyped, very, very, very hyped to see anything on it. I'm a fan. I'm going to buy it. I'm all in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Right. Sign me up for Biomutant.
Yeah. Fire.
It's coming in May, right?
May 25th. Yep.
As it stands, it's coming in May.
As it stands.
Experiment 101.
THQ you got a delay?
Take your time.
Well, you got a delay? Delay. Anybody get mad with you? Bring it to us. Well,
take your time.
Take your time, because who knows? Y'all might have enough. There ain't no crunch. Y'all might be developing multiplayer in secret. Who knows? Do y'all thing, man.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Because we still don't got the multiplayer in Cyberpunk, right?
Nope. Cyberpunk said that we get a multiplayer?
Yeah.
It was, it's
supposed to get multiplayer, yeah. It ain't happening until like the end of this year, though. So
that's probably not coming to the end of next year. Like, they need to still finish this game. Like, how you can't give us multiplayer for a game that ain't done. Man, listen. In any case, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to KJ229 for the very, 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 very generous sub gifting that you did. KG with the resub and Nosebreaker for the bits. Really appreciate you guys. Much love to all of our listeners, viewers, followers, everything,
and everyone in between.
Love all the support, man. You guys are wonderful. Oh, I'm starting to see people's challenge coins are popping up on the socials. So
yes.
Receive those. Super hype, man. That stuff means a lot to us. So
yeah, that's crazy. Seeing it in your hands, like we could do it all day, but to see y'all appreciate these things.
Take your pictures and tag us.
You guys got them, so that makes me happy.
Take your pictures and tag us. Take your pictures and tag us. We're on all socials, but Instagram is probably the best. And if you have not yet received your challenge coin, but you are a subscriber, join our Discord, and the link to our Discord, if you go to our Instagram at TTTV, the link is in the bio. And get in contact with us. We will send it to you out free of charge. It's free of charge. All you have to do is just be a subscriber to the channel, and you get your coin free of charge.
Is
Reese trying to do something?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Why?
Not important. Wow,
you're
okay. Sick.
In any case, this has been another episode of Trigger Talk TV.
Trigger Talk TV.
Trigger Talk TV.